Good day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and a new Nigeria is possible. On a good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today, we are here to have discussions on the things that are happening in Nigeria once again. Today being the 21st day of November 2024. We have several things to discuss today, but we want to pay attention to a particular advice and, of course, a hit coming from some northern groups, especially the one coming from Dr. Garros, who explicitly states that Tinubu should take a bow like Joe Biden of the US ahead of the 2027 election. And of course, we are also going to bring you what His Excellency Peter Obi has said today, urging the government to invest more in education. We are going to bring you the video and, of course, what he said over there. And I also want to bring to your attention the fact that the Senate, the Nigerian Senate, has finally approved the borrowing of the fresh 1.77 trillion loan. And so many other things that we will be bringing your way. I'm not the only one to have this conversation. I have Angel in the studio, and of course, we have active citizens joining us virtually.
Welcome to the program Hope Alive. Sit tight, relax, let's discuss.
Yes, as you are joining us to have a discussion here, let's start with what is trending currently about the northern part. What the northern have said is very, very, I don't even know the best way to position it, but let's take a listen to what the man said before we dive into that very conversation. But the major discussion point that he made, or the point that he made, is a fact that Tinubu needs to take a bow like Joe Biden against 2027. Let's take a listen.
Yet all that is a lie. If you can do the Kawuni, why you know win Kanu? If Tinubu Kawuni, why you know win Lagos as a president? So all those things is formality. Is people candidate that they bring solid candidate, that is why they need. And with this hungry 2027, let him just forget about it. Let him just be like Joe Biden. Simple. Because nobody will vote hungry. We cannot go for it. Okay? Simple. Hence why later at that time we are challenging now. Put this thing, fix something. Fuel is cost, food is expensive, no road, no light, no water. What are we going to be? Everything is tax. How can we be? But I think very soon we'll be paying for a trouser or where we match for tax. Wrote a letter then to former President Muhammadu Buhari. General Muhammadu Buhari retired, and the President also commanded GSOM, that telling hardship is too much on that 16 November. Today we are November again. So what happened was, he said the thing is too much, that the hardship for the masses is too much then, and that word, he said, that is the purpose we make we voting. And that is why we voting, because we expected the result. Hence he can write letter to the president, and he also campaign with the president. No say he bring president Sungulande, he campaign for president. I had many people say Tinubu bring president. He not bring president. They bring President Tinubu bring the whole northern board. We bring our vote. We vote for President Bola and Tinubu. We vote for Buhari. So not even anybody who say Tinubu bring Sungulande is a lie. Tinubu contribute, but he did not bring Buhari. Can only bring him. What are you talking about? Why you not bring himself Sungulande? You say, yes, I will bring myself. Does he bring himself? No. We vote for him also. So when people vote for him, I have people say, I bring somebody. Nobody will bring. That ruling is from God. It's a destiny. Nobody can bring unless God. So we brought Tinubu, we brought Buhari under APC. Nobody will say Tinubu will bring Buhari. No. If you have Buhari for financially, that is their own. But for me, personally, I vote for Buhari, I contribute for Buhari, and I contribute for Tinubu. So I see a reason what people will say. So if that is the case, then Gololoma contribute for Tinubu. I mean, I bring Tinubu, because how many people I make to vote for him? And I convince them in Nigeria, not even in the north only. So that thing is, by the way, as far he has a masses and a mind, and he sent a letter to Buhari, we are telling him that we need, masses are hungry and they cannot fit one square meal in his government. That time he was not a government. Now he's #1 citizen. What solution does he take to make sure this mercy does survive before 2027? Because if they are alive, they can vote. If they collapse, they cannot vote. When you're hungry, can you go for vote? What is that? And people are convincing say they vote for Ido, they vote for Ondo is APC. No. Ondo went for the governor because the present governor performing Ondo said that is why they vote him. And the same thing in Ido, Adam Oshumole perform and they bring a perfect candidate. That is why APC win election. It's not for Tinubu to win. It's not for Ganduje to win. All that is a lie. If Ganduje can win, why you not win Kanu? If Tinubu can win, why you not win Lagos as the president? So all those things is formality. It's people candidate that they bring, solid candidate. That is why they need. And with this hungry 2027, let him just forget about it. Let him just be like Joe Biden. Simple. Because nobody will vote hungry. We cannot go for it. Okay? Simple. Hence why later at that time, we are challenging now. Put this thing, fix something. Fuel is cost, food is expensive, no road, no light, no water. What are we going to be? Everything is tax. How can we be? But I think very soon we'll be paying for a trouser or where we match for tax. What are we talking about?
What do you say about IMF?
Even they have already stated it, as I said. Now they say this policy is not moving. They said it. They indicated it directly. They said Tinubu envelope. They said the policy is running of the economy is not working. And Nima I say is not working. I always say it's not working. We are educated now. What are you talking about? Are we fool? It's not working. That person he put there as a minister of finance and economy is not working. The central bank he put there is just there for himself and his family. Somebody wants to buy a vehicle of 6 vehicle 10 billion and you are telling me say he's working for economy. Which economy? Why don't you buy the vehicle before you go there? 10 billion for 6 vehicle. What are you talking about? People are just making some maybe rich for themselves and they're confusing us. Do you know before a president's son? Do you ever know a president's son? During the Obasanjo, do you know his son? During Erado, do you know his son? During Jonathan, do you know his son? Even Barida Yusuf, do you see him having a convoy? Apart from the accident, do you know about Yusuf? But this one, look at you going out with your convoy. Yanoja going with your convoy. President going with your convoy. Madam going with your convoy. Is he a family government? Somebody who's attending a minister net meeting as a son to the president. Is he a minister? If they are traveling for a country, he was in Equatorial Guinea.
From Elder Dr. Garros, who is throwing these jibes to Chief Bola Tinubu. Okay, let's get this conversation like Angel said. Angel, he said, if Tinubu did not win Lagos according to INEC specifically, and Ganduje was unable to win Kano State, who says they can win election in Nigeria? He said obviously that Chief Bola Tinubu should just toe the line of the kind of resignation that Joe Biden did, which is to bow out of 2027 contest. But we don't see that happening coming 2027, of course.
I think if he values his integrity and his honor, he has to take a bow.
He's not known for integrity.
Because under the hardship, fuel is expensive, feeding is expensive, every garden thing is expensive.
Yeah, but Angel, remember again that he has the money, the 20,000 naira that buys the votes.
It's not even about buying the votes. It's about the people. The vision. He doesn't have the vision.
Yeah, but even the places that
See how
that
he's
they don't
just borrowing and squandering the money. Buying how many billions for just few cars? It doesn't make sense. You need to hear the cry of the people you said you are their leader.
Well, okay. Let's take Mr. Bassi on now as they await to take up this. Mr. Bassi, welcome to the program. And we want to get you've heard what Dr. Garros said about Chief Bola Tinubu taking a bow like Biden. Do you see that happening in 2027, or this is just another joke coming from the Northern elders?
Good evening and thanks for having me. Good evening, listeners. Though I didn't listen to I didn't hear the audio part of the your introduction. Well, it's a good call, but again,
Okay, let me give you it's a video coming out from Dr. Garros, who is insisting that Chief Bola Tinubu did not win Lagos as stipulated by INEC, and again that Ganduje, who happens to be the chairman of APC, was not able to also win Kanu State during the 2023 election. Now, ahead of 2027 election, that no state, if they didn't win these two states, it means that they are not going to get any vote from almost all the states, irrespective of the INEC shenanigans or brouhaha. But that Tinubu, that based on the hardship that is happening right now in Nigeria and the way people are just dying of hunger, that the best thing for him to do is for him to just cower, to resign, or to, toe the path of Joe Biden of the US, which is to say he's banned out of the race for 2027. Now, my question to you is, do you see that happening?
okay, thank you once again. It's a good call and it's a good, reasonable advice. But you and I know that most Nigerian politicians don't listen to such reasonable advice. For Nigerian politicians, everything is possible, even when the reality is staring on their faces, that things are not in their favor. They know that they will always have a way of getting the result. But let us not believe that Chief Tinubu will heed that advice by the doctor, because we know that Nigerian politicians are diehard. Even until they're in their grave, they still believe that they will still cling on to power. So the only thing that will get them out of power is for Nigerians to unite in their resolve and make that happen. The truth is that, yes, like he has stated, he didn't win Lagos. Even the abracadabra that they did in Lagos, we all know how that went. The margin of loss in Lagos was much higher than what INEC presented. And it's also very true that they did not win Kanu. But again, they also did abracadabra there, courtesy of his current APC chairman. But with what Nigerians are going through, I hope they'll be motivated by the current reality to unite together and make sure that APC does not return back to power. That's the only way out.
About current realities, Mr. Bassi. The current realities was in front of us as at 2020 in this year when we had the Edo election. The current realities were in Edo election, visible to the people of Edo, and it happened. The current the reality you talked about is still prevalent on the just concluded Ondo State election, and people chose 20,000 naira over better leadership. I mean, how do you juxtapose that moving towards 2027?
Well, we know the politics and election is a game of numbers. What transpired in Edo was as a result of voters' apathy. And that's why we need to shake that off and come out of that apathy and for once resolve to make a difference. They were able to maneuver things because voters didn't come out. But if voters had come out en masse, by the way, if you look at the percentage of people that voted in the last Edo election, it dropped from the previous election. So like I've always said, for us to outplay these riggers, we have a mass action. That mass action is that at least 80 to 90% Nigerian voters must come out on that day to cast their vote. By so doing, it's going to be impossible for them to rig election. But they can rig election when there is voters apathy. So this is what Nigerians must understand. The same thing is applicable, played out in Ondo State. So, and you know these people are doing this so that at the end of the day, Nigerians will have that same apathy in coming out to vote. They will not be motivated. But like I will always say, Nigerians should allow the hardship that we are going through, that have been foisted on us, to motivate us to come out and take that decision. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Next, the distance of Mr. Ako. Mr. Ako, of course, I believe you would have heard what we explained that Mr. Garros said, and you've heard from him. But my question to you is, looking at what he said concerning Lagos and Kanu, and the fact that judging the hunger in the land, do you think that the hunger in the land can justify voter turning out to vote against APC come 2027, or you think that Nigerian people still will summon courage to tell Mr. Chief Bola Tinubu to bow out of that race? What part of this discussion do you, agree with?
Good evening, listeners, and Mr. Kanu and fellow panelists. I want to make a reassuring statement that there is no miracle that Tinubu is going to perform between now and 2027 that will make him to win 5 states in Nigeria. There is no miracle. Take it to the bank, take it anywhere. Lagos, he never won. Of course, Lagos are more angrier than any other person, any other states in Nigeria. Kanu are angry. He did not even win Kanu. He is not going to win either. Is it the rivers that Wiki helping to rig? Of course, you can see the anger in rivers is something else. So, is the FCT is going to win? The answer is no. So look around, where will be the base that will give Tinubu another 4 years? It's not possible. And here we are, understanding that we've identified the moles. The oppositions have identified the moles within their fold. So all is set for 2027. If election is conducted today, Tinubu is losing hands down. Unfortunately, we are going to be fooled to expect that INEC is going to conduct a transparent election. So the people are there, and the will of the people will prevail at the polling units. That is my expectation. Irrespective of whatever intimidation, manipulation, it will not work, sir. Rather, those who are able to get such money to go for manipulation will find their way and whistle out. You can't trace them. The moment Tinubu is declared losing, of course, there will be change of allegiance among the security architecture, and before you know what, he's already thrown out of Aso Rock. So there is no miracle he's going to perform that will make him to emerge victorious in 2027. You know, did you watch the videos and the picture emanating from the G20? Remi Tinubu in the back of Tinubu. People are now more angry.
Yeah. Talking about G20, actually, I want to bring that up. Bring that up. Tinubu actually demarketed Nigeria, not just Nigeria, he demarketed Africa entirely at G20. As a matter of fact, it's a shameful thing. And I seriously want us to listen to what Tinubu said so that some people will actually understand where we're coming from on this. He actually demarketed Nigeria. There's no leader in G20 who will wish to send his investors to come to Nigeria after listening to what Tinubu said in a meeting, a global leaders meeting. Let's take a listen to that.
Yeah. It's better to give you the true picture of what's going on in Africa. We have terrorism challenges, insecurity challenges that are preventing farmers to even go to their farm. We have problem in Sudan, displacing people. We have problem of climate change, flooding, destroying crops. And we have problem of protectionism. We have problems. It is very important to make it clear and louder here. We have problem of out of school children. We have problem of funding free education or giving our children 1 meal a day in a classroom to even make them pay attention to school.
Mr. Ako, I'm coming back to you now. So, Mr. Ako, you've heard what Chief Bola Tinubu had to say at the G20 about the insecurity in the north, and he says so much. So, please, just 1 minute, tell us what are your thoughts on the market in Nigeria.
Other nations, other countries are there saying positive things that attract investors to their country, revealing aspect of opportunities that will make investors to be interested in coming to their country. But in the case of Nigeria, he went there telling them about we have challenges of insecurity, hunger, and all that. No any meaningful investor will be interested in taking his money to a country that is hungry, because an hungry man is an angry man. When you put your investment in a country where citizens are hungry, one day they'll wake up and destroy your investment. That's the implication. Talking about insecurity, Nigeria as a country has not decided on ending insecurity. One, let me tell you, is a deliberate sabotage. Each state where you see insecurity happening, the state government needs to be investigated. There's what they call security votes. To them, they've seen it as a motivation for attracting insecurity to their states. Through security vote, they have more allocation, which other states without insecurity do not have access to. So Nigerian politicians, they have become the devil itself, that they are not afraid of putting the life of their citizens on the line, just in an attempt to rake in more dollars, more money, without conscience. So the new Nigeria we're talking about, there's so many things that need to be put in place. So many checks and balances. Issue of security should not even be in the hand of politicians in the first place. It should be in the hand of, it should be treated by the security agents, not politicians are deciding security votes, handling security votes. And that's why they keep on engaging non-state actors to creating security in their states such that their state will fall in the list. Take, for instance, Niger State wasn't in the list. But because of the security votes, you are seeing what is happening now. Many states are joining the list of insecure states just to gain more security votes. It's alarming.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. And let's get on with Mr. Tony. But before, I want Mr. Tony to take three things at once because we are yet to bring in the story of His Excellency P2B, who has urged the federal government to invest more in education, of which he has been going. And of recent, not just invest in education, Mr. P2B has continued even to mobilize some farms to grow, to see that Nigeria attains food sufficiency. He actually donated about 20 million naira to another agricultural
known yesterday during the maiden.
But before we get into that, let's get that very commentary and then what Mr. P2B talked about in education before we take up before Mr. Tony can now take the three things at a time.
Hybrid international conference organized by Peaceland University Enugu with the theme Digitalization in Education, Staying Ahead of the Curve, stressing that rather than complaining about challenges, the federal government needs to begin tackling the myriads confronting the country, including the poor education system. OBE stated that any country that fails to prioritize the education of its youths was planning to fail, as education remains the key measure of the development of Human Development Index.
Education is the most important contributor to development. It's been proved over and over again that the more a country or a nation is educated, the more it is developed. And whenever you talk about the youth, they are the engine of growth anywhere. If you invest in your youth, you are investing in a great nation because they are the productive tools. You need production. Old people cannot produce, that's why they are retired. So these are people who are coming up with their tools. So you need to support them, invest in them. And education is the most critical asset when it comes to development. We need to have a government that understands that we must invest in critical areas of development, which is health, education, and pulling people out of poverty. Because that's the only way you can develop. And you have to do it with the youth, because they are the ones that we need to make it work.
The government should therefore start implementing tech schools. They should start funding schools and ensure, as a matter of policy, that every school that is to be called a school have access to tech and to accesses in facilities of digitals.
I don't think the government has done much. I do think that they need to do more. And if you listen to His Excellency P2B, you can see the statistics of people studying in Nigeria as compared to statistics of people in other worlds. We are like 1/10 in terms of education. And even if in terms of access, so we are like 1/20 compared to people of other worlds. So the government needs to make sure that we have a broader access to education, and the only way to broaden that access is through making sure that schools have sustainable internet technology program.
Basically, from what I've understood so far, all the speakers have made mention of this one particular thing, saying that you cannot go anywhere without education, despite everything you've been told, that education will get you to where you actually want to go to. So this is exactly what I picked from the whole lecture.
So that is the commentary of His Excellency P2B's session at the university, where he urged the government to invest more in education. So Mr. Tony, please, I want you to combine, due to time, to combine the three items for discussion so that you could allot them some time for you to break them down. One from Dr. Garros, who obviously is talking about Tinubu's taking a bow against 2027. And of course, the second one about the disgrace that actually happened at G20 meeting where he demarcated Nigeria and Africa at large. And of course, joined the tribute for P2B's, visiting these universities and donating money. So what is your opinion, your take in these stories trending right now?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Let me start with the governor's comments. My own view is this: you cannot send a hungry child to learn because it's not possible for that to happen. First of all, let us feed them. Let us have food sufficiency. At the same time, we are sending them to school. You can't send them to school hungry because they're not going to learn much. That's my view on that. And it is well known that in some parts of this nation, students, particularly the young ones, at the primary level, most of them are not going to school because they are trying to survive, first of all. They are trying to survive. Some of them make money for the family. Because some of them have a couple of children and the parents cannot feed all the children. So they have to send the children to hawk, to sell pure water, to sell puff, and all the rest of them. So first of all, let us bring into the equation food sufficiency. And then, like Awolowo did, like Oti is now doing, let every child have the opportunity to attend school. That's my view on that. On Tinubu's Brazil's venture, this guy always go out to make speeches written for him. And I sometimes believe that he himself doesn't even believe in what he's reading. It's just to read something that sometimes doesn't rhyme with the condition, with the situation he's in. So he goes to Brazil, he lectures world leaders. He goes to China, he lectures world leaders. He goes to Qatar, Saudi Arabia, he lectures world leaders. But I think they thumb their nose on him. I believe that. Because they know how he came to power. They know how he came to power. Therefore, they don't have any respect for him. They let him, blab as much as he can, and they move on with their business. Because sometimes it doesn't make sense. How can you go over there to tell the world the problem you're having, which you, as the commander-in-chief, has not been able to tamp down hunger, insecurity? And you're telling them about Sudan. Everybody knows about hunger in Sudan. Everybody knows about war going on in Sudan. Why do you have to go there to regurgitate that? So the guy is just it's a shame what he's doing to this great country. And people are quiet, except some few who are talking about the issue. Even though they are talking to people that seems to have to be deaf, not willing to listen and understand. How many times are people going to tell you that your policies are not working? Yet, you want to continue hammering on that policy. You want to push it down on our truth so that you can make a point. Your policies are not working. Change them. Find a solution to insecurity. Find a solution to hunger.
Okay, Tony.
And coming to the other one, the doctor, Gololo.
Yeah.
You know, this Mr. Tinubu has been nursing to be president for such a long time. So any expectation from anyone that he should bow like Joe Biden did is the person, I think, is making a mistake. It's not going to happen. He's already planning for the next election. Look at all his actions. He's geared towards the next election. He cares less about hunger, suffering in the land. He just wants to be president. And his family members are co-presidents. The son, the wife, they are co-presidents in this country. We are in trouble.
All right, thank you very much, Tony.
Mr. Ako, and of course, Mr. Bassi. Thank you all guys for being out here with us today, and of course sharing your views on this trending news that we're discussing today. Our time is up right now, and of course signals are ongoing at the background, and of course I'll be handing over to Angel to finally give us her final words before we leave.
Yes, so my active citizens and obedient worldwide, our HEP to be have said it all. If only APC would listen, that the youths, that they should invest in youths, that the youths are the engine of every country. They should start pulling people out of poverty, investing in health, education. But will APC government listen? That is the most important question. I hope they do. Because saying about or talking about G20 in Brazil, we are used to Tinubu embarrassing the country. This is not his first time. He's used to that. So that is why this Dr. Garros is telling him to take a bow by 2027. If he doesn't want to take a bow, the people will force him to do that. Thank you so much, my lovely and intelligent, obedient worldwide and active citizens. We love you. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe. Let all the obedient know what is going on. We love you, but God loves you more. Bye for now.